Hey there, Eights. So I had heard some of you were having trouble with this assignment that I'd given on Thursday, the last time I'd seen you guys. And I think it's the nature of the word change. So this assignment, all over it has this word change. Here we have the first difference, they're calling it, the change in Y, and the second difference, the change in the change in Y. So let's talk for a second about that, what that word change means. So the word change, what is the change from 7 to 13? Well, that is fairly clear, I think. Well, like you don't have to do anything to know that the change is 6, which is the same as the question, what's the difference between 7 and 13? Also 6, like that's the difference between them. But that does, it highlights the way the word change works. Because if we're going from 7 to 13, we're actually doing 13 minus 7. So what you see is it always is, if I call this the start and the end, the word change always goes from where you end to where you minus where you started. So given a table like we are in the assignment, how would you calculate change? Well, when we've calculated change, I've just looked here and said, look, the x's are going -1, 1, 3, 5. Oh, that should have been 7. My bad. So all of these are increasing by 2. Our change in x is positive 2. But now you can see the way we could do this, the way they are on the worksheet, where if I use what we know with this end minus start idea, then the change here from 1 to -1 would be 1 minus -1, which gives us that. And it wouldn't matter what values I choose. Here it would be, 5 minus 3 or 7 minus 5 if I chose those. So then change in y, I could look the same way. What's the change here? Well, we can see it's going down 1, so it should be a change of -1. But if I use that end minus start idea, I get 7 minus 8, and that's where we get our change of -1. And in the past, we'd always applied this to then we know the slope is change in y over change in x, or the gradient. Good. So I just wanted to talk about the idea of this word change and just how it does the end minus start type of thing. So let's go back to this assignment that you guys had. What this is doing here, if I say, what's the change here? Oh, I need a different color of pen. What's the change here? Well, end minus start is 1 minus 4, and that's how they get that -3. And then they go on and they do the same thing, like this is 0 minus 1, well that's why they have 0 minus 1 over here. But then as they keep going, come on, then they went to the second difference, the change in y. Well, change in y is here, so how much did this change? Well, if I go end minus start, that's -1 minus -3, which is -1 plus 3, which is 2. And I can see that. If I look here, these went up 2, so it connects. So I think those of you that are having trouble, it's because of the nature of the word change. And if you know that now, that everywhere you look, it's going to be where you ended minus where you started, and that's what they're doing over here. Then I think you'll be able to put together the rest of this and you'll see the patterns. The key with me was just, I was thinking you would fill out these tables to see patterns, and I promise you will if you fill out those tables. And then at the end, there's some questions, just asking you to generalize those patterns and say what you see. Yeah, we'll definitely use this and talk about it on Tuesday when I see you guys. Yeah, have a great rest of your weekend or a start to your week, wherever you're at, and I'll see you guys soon.